buddy Everett's. Hey everybody, Everett's Live Music, giving a shout out on Juneteenth, the official end of slavery, and just taking the day off myself for any of that. For sure, I think that's worthy of a day off. And looking at the current times and stuff, just thinking, how many years it was after that, even like over 100 years later in the 60s, and they're still fighting for their rights. People of color. It's a strange way of society, I think. And throughout all those 100 years, even into the 60s, when we've seen it with, still trying to get proper representation and being recognized as a citizen. There was a lot of years between there that a lot of bad things happened. From Tulsa to different areas to Alabama's. Anyway, a shout out for that today and the remembrance of it, and imagining us moving forward, as I hope we do someday. Most of the time, I can't stress enough, you're going to see the money's going to be in there, tied in with all of it. That's why they had slaves, right? What is up with that? Why? Isn't that funny, man? You had to go get people to do the work for you. You couldn't do it yourself. Your kids weren't going to work hard enough in the fields, and you didn't have enough people. You had to go to Africa and pick people up and bring them. What a weird way of life and seeing life. That is a weird thing. I think some of that ideologies still exist within some people. I don't know how deep it is within some, but it's unfortunate to see people that way. And then to try and tell so many, it's actually just an unfortunate way that we do life around the money. Even here in the Southwest, as they keep building and building and building through water shortages, and then everybody gets smaller pools and you get less of this, and now you get water restrictions. If you'd slow down, we probably wouldn't run into these situations. And you might not have needed slaves. And when you do make them slaves and then you set them free and then you still treat them like terrible, it's really weird. I don't know what to think about that. Except for what the hell. But even to this day, out west, you'll hear people, they yell that Mexicans steal American jobs and all of these things, but it's somebody that hires them. At one point, there wasn't really any Mexicans up here hiring Mexicans. It would have been a person, mainly probably white, as they describe it, Caucasian or whatever. I think we're all people, but let's stay on at that angle is and the money's in there somewhere, because they're going to get a lot more work done for a lot less money, and they get to show the other people, which would be like us common folk, that you will be replaced if you don't work for the wages that I offer you. I don't understand the whole class society, and I might even be labeled socialist or other names you might call me, but I don't believe really in anything, just trying to make sense out of stuff and having the ability to want and desire to talk about it and correct one another when we can. And why do we live life around that dollar? It's strange. I wonder about the presidents, their faces on some of them. I wonder what they were thinking when they drew up the Constitution and stuff. It was a lot different of a time, and it was on the edge of probably industrialization. So at one level or another definitely was and is, and as time went past. But what is all this? Make more, to buy more, to sell more, to... Why? Why not just be with one another? And if you want something, we'll either make it or go find someone that does. And it's, it is a constant thought for me. I don't think I'm alone, but I don't think I'm heavily supported. But I'm not like against money. But I do know that it's there at the center of almost all the stuff. And I've mentioned it before, but it is weird. And I remember today for that Juneteenth, the end of slavery finally, and then all the years it took to even into the 60s, the fighting and the riots. And racism's pretty real, but I hope we're moving forward, changing the way of thinking on so many levels in order to get rid of that, because we can't just get rid of like racism and stuff, because it's all centered a lot of the time around money and shit. So it's like a way of life that exists that promotes it almost. If anybody wants to shoot back, I'll keep this short today. It's the 19th of June, and just giving a shout out today, and we'll look to the future, and hit me back. We'll get a chat going or something.